Hi, my name is Gil Robertson, President of the African American Film Critics Association, and welcome to another edition of Conversations With. Today we're going to spotlight the hot new Quibi show, FreeRayshawn, starring Stephan James, Laurence Fishburne, and Jasmine Cephas Jones. How are you two doing?
Great. How are you?
Awesome. Thank you for having me.
Great, great. So, congratulations. This show has certainly is gaining a steady following, and you guys also received some good news a couple of weeks ago, about a week ago, actually.
Yeah,
Talk about being nominated for an Emmy, and just what the experience has been like so far.
I'll just speak for myself real quick. I had no idea Emmy nominations were even coming up or anything of the sort. So it was definitely a pleasant surprise, to say the least. What a cool thing. You don't, as an artist, you don't really make things for awards, but certainly it's cool when you can get this kind of recognition for what we saw as a labor of love and just important work. And so obviously the recognition is appreciated.
Your work has been growing steadily, and you are certainly regarded as part of the next gen group of Black actors who are going to go on and do big things. This is all part of that, I guess, getting nominated for an Emmy Award and, doing the types of things that you've been doing in your career. Jasmine, how do you feel to be a part of a project that's gaining such notoriety?
It feels great. We put a lot of work into this project. We really put a part of our souls into this piece, and to give it justice, and to really show our audience all of the emotions that one goes through and how it affects the families. And it was a very collaborative project, and we all worked our butts off in a very confined space, and really made some beautiful work, and we're storytellers of a very important story. So to be nominated is amazing. I had no idea. I didn't think that it was gonna happen. It was so funny. I got a text and someone said, "Congratulations, Emmy nom," and I literally said back, I was like, "That would be amazing, but I don't think I'm nominated." And so it just didn't even cross my mind, as Stephan said, you do these passion projects, and you get to collaborate with amazing actors, and you do it for the exciting project, but also for the meaning of it. And it is an honor to get nominated, and it's just kind of like the icing on the cake, I think, for us.
Your career has been going along nicely as well, so this is great news, and hopefully will also provide some great momentum. Let's talk about the project. What was it that attracted both of you to it?
Well, for me, I sat down with Antoine. We just had a lunch where we spoke about a whole lot of things, but he brought up this thing, FreeRayshawn, and he said he wanted to essentially do a modern day take on Dog Day Afternoon, which is like one of my favorite films ever. Essentially about a ex-war veteran who had been, kind of set up by the police, and in turn barricades himself in his house with his wife and his 5-year-old son, negotiating his release with the only Black police officer he sees in the department. And so it just, I mean, as a concept, I mean, you're just like, whoa. You know, to think about this man barricading himself, you know, protecting his wife and his family, you know, when everyone else thinks he's the dangerous one. it's just to me, it's something that I just felt like would be such a cool challenge for an actor. And then obviously you go to it being important and just realizing that, you know, though these characters are fictitious characters, they're representative of real life people. And so there's a responsibility that comes with that. And I think that, you know, the whole cast really stepped into that, into honoring that. You know, whether you talk about Mike Brown, Laquan McDonald, Tamir Rice, any one of these names, really they're interchangeable. You know, that's RayShawn, and that is his story. And so, you know, in turn, you want to do justice to those lives.
Jasmine, what made you go, I'm going to pick this one over that one?
I mean, it's to back off of what Stephan said. It's kind of, you know, the same reason. The story, you know, we've been telling this story for years through art. What made this one a little different was the use of social media. And I think how RayShawn uses the social media, it's like another character, and he creates this army, and, you know, his own, honestly, like his only hope, you know, to help him. And everybody that was a part of the project, I was really, really excited to work with. And immediately when we started, it was like, you know, we had a lot of open space to, on a safe, very, very safe space to really dig and dive into these characters. And again, to be an eye opener, to be a vessel for, you know, these victims and these victims' families, and to make them actual humans when sometimes society doesn't.
Now, explain to me, when you guys were filming it, did you already know you had the commitment at Quibi? In other words, did you know that the film essentially that you were making would be broken up into little digestible film bites?
My understanding was that it was the first piece of dramatic content that Quibi bought. And so I think it had been originally written as a feature, and they were attempting to sell it and shoot it as a feature. And then the Quibi deal happened between Fuqua and Katzenberg, and then they had to sort of address that in the rewrite.
But the intent when you guys shot it was for it to be a feature.
No, the intent was we shot it for Quibi.
Oh, okay.
The initial intent, you know, the main focus was to make a piece of content specifically for Quibi. And Fuqua's company has the option of releasing FreeRayshawn as a full-length feature 2 years down the line.
Got it. And now, knowing that you were going to be shooting it for Quibi, did that change your approach to, you know, your execution of the characters? To what
Not necessarily, no. I mean, you know, it was of a piece. It's a long, you know, it's a full-length feature piece that was scripted and shot, not necessarily shot, but certainly scripted and edited for the Quibi format. Not in terms of the way that we had to perform and the way that, you know, he had to shoot it like he'd shoot, you know, a normal feature film.
I remember we were all still trying to figure out, because Quibi was so new, like how it would transfer over, you know. And I remember you guys were all having like the first meal as a cast, and I remember since I was like the last one to get cast, I like flew in, and one of my first conversations with Stephan, we were like, okay, so can you explain to me, you know, what Quibi is? So like we were all, you know, figuring it out, but that didn't change, you know, how we shot everything. And then when it was finally put together, like all the pieces put together, and it was awesome. You know, the way that they broke it down, all the episodes kind of leave you with a cliffhanger. It worked really, really well.
No, I had already asked them, Laurence, but I'll now pose the same question to you. I mean, what was it about this Euro and this project that, you know, that was appealing?
Well, the story, first and foremost, this is a story that I have told several versions of, unfortunately. A
Yes,
story
you have.
that needs to be told. I mean, I ain't no ways tired telling this story because this is part of the work that I have done all of my life. It's been the main theme of my life as an actor. And so the opportunity to tell it in this new format also, I felt was very important because we know that younger people, this is how they're watching things. This is how they're getting story. The opportunity to work with Antoine, to work with Stephan, to work with Jasmine, to work with Cephas, and then the social media component that is both in the story and of the story and part of the storytelling and really in the zeitgeist now, I thought was also something that was really, really smart and timely. And unfortunately, Rayshawn's story is George Floyd's story. It is Breonna Taylor's story. It is Trayvon Martin's story. It's all of those people, you know, who have lost their lives needlessly and tragically, you know. So though all those things made it, you know, I felt a responsibility to step up and do it.
Right. I mean, and my God, given the recent set of circumstances around, Ahmaud Arbery and Breonna and George Floyd, made this version of the story that we know so well even more compelling.
Yes.
And of course, at the time that you made the project, you would have had no idea that these events would have been occurring. But as you discussed earlier, Stephan and Jasmine, they aren't new. So, I mean, what do we, by making these stories, what do we hope that we teach audiences? What do we hope, how do we feel like we're informing society so that we all can become better?
I think that, I think that more than anything, you know, we don't really want to tell people how to feel about this piece. I think it's important that people are able to watch this piece and digest it in their own way. At the core of it, it's a human piece. It's about human beings. And I think that that's, you know, one through line that everyone could see and agree on. But I think that it's supposed to have people look within themselves and question or challenge their own perspective or prejudices as it pertains to this situation. And then hopefully from there, you know, you get into other, dialogue about what to do about those ingrained prejudices. But I think we all just wanted to, put it on its face and have people accept it for what it is. And it's a human story, and if you have a heart, you're bound to feel something.
Let's talk about the chemistry between you and Mr. Fishburne. What was that like, working with, such an esteemed actor, with the resume? As I had mentioned to them earlier, Laurence, I talked about how Stephan represents this next wave of gifted Black actors and will eventually assume the mantle of folks from our generation.
That's right.
So you come on the set and you meet the great Laurence Fishburne. What was that like, and how did the two of you come together in developing the chemistry that we see on screen?
For me, it was everything. It was everything. I mean, you talk about, you grow up watching, like I grew up watching Fish. Fish taught me how to act. Denzel taught me how to act. So, for me, it was just you know, the little kid inside of me was just geeking out, just being like, I'm sharing a scene with Laurence Fishburne, like, holy crap. But, you know, I say this all the time to anyone who asks me, you know, not only is he a gifted artist, but he's really a gracious artist, you know, like a giving artist. I think that, you know, it's really telling when a man of you know, that stature steps on a set and he's able to make everyone feel comfortable and everyone feel like they're on the same level. And you know, we're all, you know, we all matter. So I really, really appreciated that from Laurence. What can I say? I mean, he's a beast of an actor. I don't really have to speak as far as the work goes, but it was just incredible getting to know him as a person throughout this process. And you know, hopefully there's even more of that. I wish I had more scenes with him, to be honest.
And Laurence, what was it like working with these two up and coming talents, next gen talents?
It was wonderful. It was wonderful. I mean, you know, Jasmine told the story in one of our interviews earlier today about meeting me backstage when she was doing Hamilton, and that I embraced all of them like they were my children. And I really do feel that way. I mean, I feel like, you know, 20 years ago when people would ask me, like, you know, who are the actors that, you know, are, you know, coming up that you like, blah, blah, blah. And I'd be like, you guys haven't seen the guys that are coming behind me. The guys that are coming behind me are the ones you got to really pay attention for. And these two are an example of that. I mean, they are the next generation. They are absolutely, you know, stunningly talented, amazingly talented people, thoughtful people, you know, serious artists. They have commitment and dedication and passion, and they're using it and they're channeling it in, you know, in really, really positive ways. And that's all you can ask, you know. So I'm proud to work with them. I'm proud of them and the work that they're doing and the work that they will continue to do. I'm in the cheerleading section for you guys. And you know, that was part of my responsibility is, you know, as your fellow castmate, was to give you the best that I had, and that hopefully we could, you know, really, really bring out the best in each other. So thank you for your work and thank you for your words today.
Now, were you surprised at the Emmy nominations?
I was.
You were?
Oh yeah, yeah. Like
How
I said,
come?
I've told this story a lot of times.
Mm-hmm.
I've told the story a bunch of times.
Sorry to ask you again, buddy.
And when you tell this story generally, award nominations don't follow.
Well, it certainly does represent a level of recognition that that, quite frankly, you deserve. So, I mean, it'll be, you know, we'll certainly be sitting there hopeful that that the right choices are made. Now, will this go? I mean, so this, when we get out of COVID and return back to filming, I mean, can there be a part 2 or continuation of this piece? I mean, where would that take us?
God knows. God knows. That's a really interesting question. I wouldn't begin to know what the answer is, but.
So this was really meant to be a standalone season.
Yeah, I mean, this was actually, as I said, it was conceived as a feature,
right?
And then it was brought to Quibi. Fuqua and Katzenberg had a conversation, and they determined that it would be a good fit for their first piece of you know, serious dramatic content. And again, there is the possibility that I think part 2 looks like, you know, some years go by.
Right.
We're out of it, thank goodness, thank God, you know, and it gets released as a feature that streams on, you know, whatever platform.
Okay.
Who played my son will be the star of that.
Yes, Danny.
Wow. Well, you guys, this has been great. I mean, certainly we will be watching closely to see what happens, you know, at the Emmy Awards. And you know, the members of the African American Film Critics Association will definitely be rooting you on, as we've always done. And, you know, best of luck to you with this. And, you know, all of you stay safe during this, hopefully, the back end of this pandemic.
Thank you. You as well.
Absolutely.
Bye.
Bye.